Spent all morning cleaning out 30 years of dust and doubt. Coffee cold beside the sink, too many memories left to think. Old receipts and rusted keys, pictures blowing in the breeze. Thought I'd smoke my last good one, and mercy hit me like the sun. In the bottom of an old wood drawer was a little piece I'd missed before. And that Willie's Reserve gonna calm my mood, lift me up like the good Lord would. Slow burn fire and a grateful buzz, thanking heaven for the life that was. Smoke rolling through the evening light, old man smiling, feeling alright. Ain't got much, but I got enough, a little bit of green and a whole lot of love. That Willie's Reserve gonna ease my soul like country music on an old back road. Some folks chase gold, but this is what it does, turns hard times into a grateful buzz. Outside watching daylight fade, listening to the blue jays sing in the shade. Dog stretched out beside my chair, mountain wind blowing through the air. Life ain't been no easy ride, lost some things I still can't hide. But every scar and every bruise makes these quiet moments feel like truth. Funny how the smallest things can make a tired heart wanna sing. And now Willie's Reserve gonna calm my mood, lift me up like the good Lord would. Slow burn fire and a grateful buzz, thanking heaven for the life that was. Smoke rolling through the evening light, old man smiling, feeling alright. Ain't got much, but I got enough, a little bit of green and a whole lot of love. Yeah, that Willie's Reserve gonna ease my soul like country music on an old back road. Some folks chase gold, but this is what it does, turns hard times into a grateful buzz. Maybe peace ain't something bought, maybe it's the lessons taught by old farm roads and smoky skies, and learning how to simplify. Yeah, that Willie's Reserve gonna calm my mood like an old porch prayer carved into wood. Slow burn glow and a grateful buzz, still believing in the life I love. Moonlight rising on the pines, thankful just to be alive tonight. One old farmer still standing tough with faithful dogs and a grateful buzz. Yeah, the world moves fast, but I don't rush. Found a little peace in a forgotten crush. And if tomorrow comes, well, brother, because tonight I'm living on a grateful buzz.
Sunrise writes another page. Doesn't matter if you're young or gray, every heart still holds a little spark, waiting on the courage to leave its mark. You don't need permission, don't need applause, just a reason bigger than yesterday was. Take that first step, let tomorrow see the life you were always meant to be. The road gets rough, the climb gets steep, nothing worth growing comes easy. Plant the dream, live the harvest, hope is where the whole thing starts. Lift your eyes, roll your sleeves, faith and work grow stronger trees. One small seed can night. Don't just wish, believe and start it. Plant the dream, live the harvest. Every failure is a lesson learned. Every setback is another turn. The rain may fall, the winds may blow, but roots grow deepest where the hard times go. Keep on building when nobody sees. Great oak trees begin as tiny seeds. One good deed, one honest hand can leave forever in this land. Dream it with your whole heart. Build it with your own hands. Help somebody on the way. That's how tomorrow stands. The harvest isn't only what you hold. It's every life your kindness helps to grow. Plant the dream, live the harvest. There's a future calling every heart. Lift your eyes, roll your sleeves. Miracles are grown from simple things. Every sunrise is another chance. Every heartbeat says, get up and dance. The world's still waiting, go and start it. Plant the dream, live the harvest. One seed, one dream, one life can change the world. So plant it today and live the harvest tomorrow.
Well, good afternoon, my fellow mustard seeds. Plant the dream, live the harvest. Every harvest begins with something almost too small to notice. A single seed, an idea, a prayer, a decision to keep going when quitting would be easier. We live in a world that celebrates overnight success, but nature reminds us that real growth doesn't happen overnight. The strongest trees, the richest fields, and the most meaningful lives are built one day at a time. Dreams, well, they're pretty much the same. They aren't just wishes floating around through your minds. They're invitations to build something worthwhile. Every kind word, every lesson learned, every setback overcome, every small step taken in faith and determination is another handful of soil covering that seed. Most of that work happens where no one can see it, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes the greatest growth takes place beneath the surface. And that's kind of like what we've been living through for like the last 10 years. Things are happening. We just don't see the growing that's going on. So today, wherever you are in your journey, don't be discouraged if your harvest hasn't arrived yet. Keep planting hope. Keep watering your purpose. Keep believing that today's effort becomes tomorrow's blessing. The dream you planted may already be taking root in ways you can't see. And when the season is right, you'll do more than admire the harvest. You'll live it. And that's what we all want to do. So I hope everybody is ready for today. I'm not. I just like look. It's going to be over 100 today. I'm going to be old, cranky, bitchy, and a whole bunch of other things. But I'm going to do all those things safely. Yeah, safely. Starting like 15 minutes ago. Yeah. Yeah. Amy Klobuchar. Yeah. I really don't even like giving her the title of senator because honestly, it should be Trader Klobuchar.
I've long believed and supported funding for Order at the Border, and I have worked well with law enforcement in Minnesota for years. But what
Quiet. Yeah. People just call bullshit. Can we say bullshit? Bullshit. Yep, they called it. And we're starting at the top because if I go all the way to the bottom, we could be here for days. Yeah. I only got about an hour and a half with you guys today because I've got to get the dogs. I'm going to have to get the dogs down to the creek when we hit the hot point about 2:30. I've got to get them down into the creek, into the water, or else they're going to overheat big time. I can't fit them all in here, even though I got this little air conditioning little thing going. There's no room in here for all of them, so I got to do what I got to do. So don't anybody take it personal if I end a little bit early today. But AI school bus dash cams. Now, this was put out by Wall Street Babes, and you know, this is the thing is he's been doing these little parts at the end of his videos where he goes into the AI or he goes into Wikipedia or he goes into wherever, and basically states whether there's any type of verifying type of information and everything. So your phone got hacked.
Greater Clark County Schools is putting these AI dash cams on school buses. Right now, it's only on a dozen buses, but it's an AI dash cam that tracks movement.
We left it to teachers to raise our kids. We left it to churches to raise our kids and keep an eye on them. We started organizations like the Boys Club, the Girls Club, the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts and the whatevers, Brownies and the Bluebirds and all of them, to keep the kids busy. Why? This is another thing that adults don't have to monitor. Now, I can understand having a camera there in order to catch people who pass by when children are exiting the bus. I get that. But there comes a point where the invasion of my personal space is going to piss me off, and I'm going to react. Enough of this flock shit and surveillance crap and everything else. Because as soon as you give up any rights for security, you're giving up your fucking freedom. And I'm not doing it. Yeah, and they can be hacked. I'll actually be talking about that, Kathy. That's one of the things that I've got coming up today. As a matter of fact, thank you, Kathy, for making a comment, because there was something over on Facebook that I wanted to go to. There was something over here that I wanted, and what the hell is it? No, I don't need you giving me any notifications. Let's see. I want to go to Kevin Lawson. Because he just put up a new video today. There we go. Kevin Lawson. Here we go. That's him. Take me to his page. That was July 22nd. Nope. Is this it? 20 hours ago. Yep, that's the one. Here we go. So Kevin Lawson. And if you guys have had the opportunity to watch any of the episodes of Homestead that he's on, it's actually a pretty good series. Yeah, I will say I'm impressed. So.
Hey, mind if I take a seat? Appreciate it. I just wanted to check in on you and share something with you. Look, I know you feel like you're never going to make it, this thing that you're pursuing, what God put in you. But just because you haven't made it yet, that doesn't mean that you're not making it. You're just in the middle part, the toughest part, where everybody else quits. Don't let that be you. I know you're a little pissed off right now, probably at God even, that if you put this in me, why is it so damn hard, right? Yeah. Well, I've been right where you're at. And what I've learned is it's always toughest right before the harvest. What I'm saying is that harvest is coming for you. You just can't quit. You know, there's this age-old saying that says, life is like a camera. Focus on what matters. Capture the important moments. Develop from the negatives. And if it doesn't work out, take another shot. Maybe that's where you're at. You feel like it's not working out. Well, damn it, take another shot. Just don't quit. All right. God bless.
Now I'm older. I'm older than this guy. Okay, I'm older than this guy, and I never heard that saying before. I'd never heard that before. You see,
life is like a camera. Focus on what matters. Capture the important moments. Develop from the negatives. And if it doesn't work out, take another shot. Maybe that's where you're at. You feel like it's not working out. Well, damn it, take another shot. Just don't quit. All right. God bless.
Kevin Lawson. That's his name. Kevin Lawson. Yeah. Him and his daughter do some really quirky things. His wife too. Periodically you'll see his wife in there, but it's mostly him and his daughter doing crazy antics and things like that. He puts out some good content. But thank you for making a comment, because then I remembered that I had something on Facebook. So thank you. All right. Carly Bonet says NASA's Curiosity rover has spent 14 years investigating whether ancient Mars could have supported microbial life. But a strange new image has sparked claims that it discovered something far more extraordinary. Mysterious structures spotted in NASA Mars photos sparks theories of lost civilization on the red planet. Is Elon trying to go home? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Because he keeps talking about going to Mars. Always talking about going to Mars. U.S. Debt Clock put this out. Oh, you know one thing? We haven't checked out Ingersoll Lockwood in quite a while either. We should probably check that out today too. Cartel squeeze tactic, executive order, alchemy. How do I fight an enemy with no borders and worldwide sovereign immunity? Cartel bank. General Patton says, strike them covertly to start, expose their weakness, crush their motivation to fight. Yeah. So cartel squeeze tactic, how do you squeeze funds out of the U.S.? 1241. an enemy with no borders and worldwide sovereign immunity. Sovereign, independent territory, the Vatican City, a sovereign juridical entity under international law, wealth, power, sanctuary, against criminal prosecution, strike them covertly to start. It goes to here. U.S. Holy See relations. The Holy See is the universal government of the Catholic Church and operates from Vatican City State, a sovereign independent territory. The Pope is the ruler of both Vatican City State and the Holy See. The Holy See, as the supreme body of government of the Catholic Church, is a sovereign juridical entity under international law, wealth, power, sanctuary against criminal prosecution, recipe for interest. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah. So Tara Kopp says exclusive. Now she is with she's with the Washington Post Pentagon correspondent. All right. She says exclusive. President Donald Trump's frustration over the Iran war boiled over at Camp David last week, where he demanded answers from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on why he had apparently misled an extreme munitions shortages that now threaten to limit military options with Iran. Well, Carolyn Levitt says, I was at Camp David with President Trump and Secretary Hegseth. This literally never happened. And we told the Washington Post that repeatedly. This BS story was shopped to too many outlets by someone clearly out to disparage the secretary for whatever reason. Unfortunately for them, the president loves the secretary and thinks he's doing a tremendous job. Fake news. There's us. There's us. Oh, my Lord, we're live. All right. Here we go.
Surveillance video briefly captures a hit-and-run crash that almost turns deadly.
You can hear the impact for the most part, and you can see the truck come to a stop.
Jackie says one of her cameras also showed first responders at this Homestead house on Lincoln Drive just before 2:30 Sunday morning. It's where authorities say 74-year-old Geraldine Bird was struck by a truck and then trapped underneath it while trying to open this gate at her home. Jackie will not forget what she heard from loved ones.
As soon as I came out the door, I could hear screaming, and I heard her say, she's dying, and she was like, she's under the truck. I could see her underneath the vehicle. So at that moment, I was in shock.
The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says Bird was struck by 31-year-old landscaper Tomas Raimundo Brito. They say he took off running and hid by this nearby home in a shed, but was arrested after a neighbor alerted a deputy.
Sir, you're charged with leaving the scene of a crash, causing serious bodily injury, and driving without a license.
According to Brito's arrest affidavit, the defendant admitted that he had consumed approximately 5 beers prior to the crash. It said he was the driver and was alone. The report also said he told investigators he was from Guatemala and had no legal status. Brito's total bond on the 2 counts was set at $15,000.
You also have a hold from immigration.
The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says additional charges against Brito are possible, including DWI.
All right. Real quick, those of you over on YouTube, I'm going to show you guys something you probably didn't know just because, okay. Just because. Let me get myself muted. Okay, now go to this little spinning or this little wheel thingy here. Okay, click on that and it says Quality Auto 720. Well, you know what? Take it down to 360. Take it down to 360. If you're buffering a whole lot, okay, that would be one way of saving resources on your computer. The other thing is the first thing that I always check when I get ready to do a podcast is I check to find out whether or not my computer is attempting to do an update while I'm getting ready to do a podcast. Yeah, you should have a settings button for every video that you watch on YouTube, Kathy. Yeah, just take and decrease the video quality, and the chat's gonna stay the same. It's gonna lower the quality of what's on the screen, but hey, I ain't all that pretty to look at, all right? I'm just saying. All right. Holy crap. Matt Van Swall says nearly 5,000 people have publicly given alibis for a man accused of vandalizing flock cameras in Georgia. When the police asked the public for help finding him, the public responded with, he was delivering food to the elderly last night. He was mowing my grandmother's lawn at 11:15 p.m. He was at my barbecue. Couldn't have been him. Police have since canceled the bolo, saying the suspects have been identified, but there has been no word on whether the suspects were arrested or charged. Yeah.
Police in Georgia asked the public to help identify a man who cut down 2 flock surveillance cameras and fled in a gray Chevy Volt on July 20th around 11:15 p.m. Instead, nearly 5,000 people came forward with alibis. One commenter wrote, quote, "Brother, that man was delivering food to the elderly that night." Another claimed, quote, "That's my friend. He was mowing my grandma's lawn at 11:15 p.m. on July 20th. And a third insisted the suspect, quote, "was at my house for a barbecue that night. Couldn't have been him." After thousands of alibis flooded in, police canceled the alert, saying the suspects have been identified, but no information has been released on who they are or if they were arrested.
I thought it was going to be like the actual news guy, but no. Scott Lebedo, that artist out of New York, artist activist. Let's start here.
He is an activist extraordinaire. He's gotten arrested I don't know how many times. Well, this was last night. He was streaming for us from this NYPD National Night Out event. And Mamdani shows up, and he's screaming and yelling at the socialist Mamdani. Well, we watched on the stream Scott Lebedo, as he's surrounded by police officers, go down right here. We didn't know whether he was tackled. We didn't know whether police had tackled him, socialists had tackled him. It turns out Scott Lebedo had a cardiac arrest event. And he sent this text to us. "Sorry, I actually died for 2 minutes," he writes. "Medics in hand brought me back just in time. I'm beat up, but okay. Tests in the hospital for a couple of days." There he is, giving the camera a finger, just like Scott Lebedo would. I think a lot of this has to do with the prayers that many of you were saying during the time we were watching this last night. So I'm grateful to you for saying prayers for Scott. I'm grateful for Scott that he's okay and the work that he's done for America. And we wanted to update you on that. Scott Lebedo, please, a speedy recovery, my friend. And I'm going to hit you to come back on again. Boy, he gets upset, and you wonder if that played into this cardiac arrest. He loves America so much, and he hates Mamdani. So was a recipe for disaster, I guess. God bless you, Scott. All right. I want to talk.
So, yeah. So, and then, let's see. Yeah. So, Scott Lobito, get well, brother. So 2 things happened this morning. This was the first one.
Cooperation.
Update from Senator Mitch McConnell. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell issued the following statement today. Earlier today, I was discharged from the rehabilitation center to continue my recovery at home. Elaine and I are grateful for the many well wishes and support from friends, colleagues, and Kentuckians, and for the attentive care I've received from excellent doctors, nurses, therapists, and hospital staff. On the advice of my doctors, I'll maintain an intensive regimen of physical therapy from home during the state work period. And I'll continue to engage with my staff and colleagues on important business. So it's a written statement. And then Corning or Thune.
Mr. Leader, do you want to see Mitch McConnell put out a video of some sort? Put out a video, Mitch McConnell? Do you think he should?
Has he?
Or should he?
Well, I think that's
Sir, so do you think McConnell needs to put out some sort of video to show his condition to the public, McConnell?
Oh, again, that's a decision between him and his staff.
Have you visited him in the hospital?
On Save American. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I think, obviously, the only way that will be done, some form of it, budgetary or fiscal save, if you want to, would be through budget reconciliation. And at this point, I don't think we have 50 votes to get on budget reconciliation, but we're still having a conversation.
Sir, have you been able to visit McConnell in the hospital?
What's that?
Have you able to visit him in the hospital, McConnell?
I have not, no.
You have any update on his condition? Do you think he's going to be back? You're going to give him an ultimatum to come back to vote since you have a slim majority?
Yeah. I don't know about that. Fake news, as usual, says President Trump is spreading false and completely unfounded rumors. I am extremely happy with the job that Pete Hegseth is doing. Everything has been extraordinary, including our attack on Venezuela, where the result was accomplished in less than 1 day, allowing us to bring one of the worst criminals anywhere in the world, Nicolas Maduro, to justice. Likewise, Iran, where the country has been decimated for the purpose of not allowing it to ever have a nuclear weapon, is going very well. Pete is highly respected within the military and has made tremendous improvements, including getting rid of DEI and increasing recruitment to historic levels. This rumor was started by the Washington Communist Post, one of the worst media outlets in the business, despite our telling them their story is completely false. In actuality, I really believe their fake reporting is treasonous. President Donald J. Trump, again, reverse the NDAA of 2012 in regards to the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. All right. And then Rod Rosenstein all of a sudden shows up on the news.
Andrew McCabe was the acting director of the FBI. He knew about it, according to this. Rod Rosenstein, Deputy Attorney General.
Now, remember, we talked about him last week. We went through the Q posts and it told us to expect to see Rod Rosenstein coming up in the news.
Knew about it. This seems to go pretty deep to pretty high levels, John.
Listen, the people who write the memo are the then general counsel of the FBI, James Baker, and the then counterintelligence chief of the FBI, who was Pete Strzok's boss at the time, a guy named Bill Priestap. They sent it to the acting FBI director, Andy McCabe, who's there right from the start on Russia collusion and what was Crossfire Hurricane to begin with, and to Rod Rosenstein. That last name is so important because the theory of this case is that Donald Trump fired James Comey because he was acting at the behest of Russia, Vladimir Putin's stooge on this. The man who fired James Comey actually wasn't Donald Trump. It was Rod Rosenstein. He signs the actual letter. Rod Rosenstein knows that they didn't do this because of Russia or because of the president's concern about Russia. They did it because James Comey violated Justice Department policy when he handled the Hillary Clinton email case. That's why the president fired him. And Rod Rosenstein knows that because he writes the memo. I put the memo in my story. Everybody can see it. So the Rod Rosenstein then takes this memo, takes Oxford comma, knowing that that's not why they fired James Comey, and he flips it over and says, let's have a special counsel investigation in 2 more years of pain with Robert Mueller, which, by the way, comes to the same conclusion. There was no Russia collusion in between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. It is insane to think what Rod Rosenstein did, given the direct knowledge he had. But I want to point out something else. By the time May 16th rolls around inside the FBI, Pete Strzok, the guy who ran the whole Russia collusion case, writes his girlfriend saying there's no big there, no Russia collusion. One of his close cohorts have told the FBI, a guy named Bill Parnett, who's running a big part of the investigation, there is no evidence of collusion between Trump and Russia. The FBI has gone through the Steele dossier, debunked everything in it, nothing credible in it, and they've even fired Christopher Steele for misconduct. The FBI has cleared Mike Flynn, saying he did nothing. There was no derogatory information suggesting he did anything with Russia. The CIA has told the FBI that one of their targets of the investigation, Carter Page, isn't a bad guy. He's a CIA asset. They had no proof when they opened this. And why that's important is the Florida grand jury may get to see this new case and consider it to be an overt act of a conspiracy to get Donald Trump.
Seditious treason carries a very, very big penalty. It's called death. Yeah. Susan Collins, yeah, another one that I really hate to call a senator because she's a backstabbing bitch is what she is. Yep, she struck a deal with Democrats to stop the heads of federal agencies from using their judgment to block grants to Democrat NGOs working against American interests at home and abroad. So Susan Collins and Patty Murphy negotiated the stopgap, which funds the government through December 11th and blocks the OMB rule, putting Trump's appointees in charge of approving federal grants. The rule covered hundreds of billions in taxpayer grant money. They're upset. The money has stopped flowing, and they're trying any way they can to get some more. Just saying. Yeah. True Stormy Joe says, interesting timing to have this fly into the news. The New York Post put out secret Bohemian Grove Club gets special flight treatment as California community rages over noise. Let's go here. When was this posted? August 6th of 2026. Oh, there you go. Well, so racist, the social media post resurfaced just weeks after her victory. Miss North Carolina USA Brittany Bolton House has been stripped of her title. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, well, all right. But the billionaires and power brokers flying into Bohemian Grove got something Sonoma County residents have been fighting for since last year, peace and quiet. The Federal Aviation Administration temporarily ditched a controversial flight path during the Elite's Club annual retreat, sending many departing planes along on an older, quieter route while private jets packed the regional airport, then switched back once the secretive gathering wrapped up. The move sparked fresh outrage among the locals who say the agency proved it could reduce the relentless aircraft noise over their neighborhoods all along. Representative Jared Huffman on Wednesday accused the FAA of giving preferential treatment to Bohemian Grove wealthy guests after years of rejecting similar requests from the surrounding community. When the Bohemians come to home or come to town, they get the response that I've spent the better part of 2 years demanding with my West County constituents, Huffman told the KQED. But when the private jets go away, they're not sure what happens. I want to make sure that the folks I represent get the same consideration as billionaires and oligarchs who are having the good time in Bohemian Grove. Yeah. The timing is especially striking as an alleged 2023 membership list from the notorious secret Bohemian Club has surfaced. An all-male Bohemian Club has hosted its annual retreat at its secluded 2,700-acre campground in Sonoma County since the 1870s, attracting some of the country's most influential figures from politics, business, and technology. For nearby residents, however, the annual gathering has become synonymous with a different kind of privilege. The FAA rolled out its Redhead departure route in January 2024, sending aircraft over communities including Sebastopol, Forestville, and Guerneville at lower altitudes. Residents say aircraft noise complaints have quadrupled since the change. But during July's Bohemian encampment, locals noticed something unusual. Of the roughly 24 daily departures from Charles M. Schultz Sonoma County Airport, most were suddenly using the older Charlie 8 route instead of Redhead. Only about 3 flights a day continued on the newer path. So, yeah. So it's like, I mean, I can understand if a president was coming into town or something like that, but for airspace to be diverted and so on and so forth. But for a bunch of millionaires and billionaires, I'm not sure I'm too happy with that. Yeah. But let's go here.
A Ring employee viewed thousands of video recordings belonging to at least 81 unique female users. He used the cameras like porn. The employee focused his prurient searches on cameras whose names indicated they surveilled intimate spaces. Master bedroom, master bathroom. The employee perused female customers and employees' videos, often for more than an hour each day. When a coworker reported that employee to a manager, he said, quote, "It is normal for an engineer to view so many accounts." Amazon has multi-billion-dollar cloud deals with the CIA, the NSA, and the Pentagon. Government agencies request Ring doorbell footage thousands of times every year, and Ring complies. In at least 11 cases, Amazon has shared Ring video footage without consent of the owner of it.
One thing that's not being mentioned in this video is that 11 times that Amazon Ring shared the video footage with the government, that all happened in just 1 year. And that was in 2022. Of course, it was under the Biden administration. And as far as that employee viewing those videos, that was confirmed by the FTC. There was a 2023 complaint and settlement with Ring. Amazon found that one male employee viewed thousands of video recordings belonging to at least 81 different female users. And he definitely did focus on things like master bedroom, master bathroom, and similar intimate places. So this is shocking because if there's one, there are many. And if they have access to these cameras and can just pull them up and view them at any time, then they definitely will be doing so. I don't know why anyone would own one of these. I would definitely not be having one. I would be getting rid of mine if I did have it.
Yeah, just a lot of things pointing in mass surveillance, mass surveillance, mass surveillance. Yeah. All right. Here we go with Patriot Dad EV 2.0.
So Scott Bessent just drove a stake right in the heart of the false narrative around the affordability crisis. Let's get this out of the way first. Is there an affordability crisis? You bet your ass there is. And I've been talking about it for a very long time. But there's two things that are driving this crisis. Government policy has flooded the country with millions and millions and millions of consumers, of people who need housing, and of people who are suppressing wages. What does that mean? Well, those two things are simple. When you flood the country with millions of people, they need to eat, they need to live, they need a house or a roof over their head. When government gives them free money and they go out and pursue those things, it drives the price for everybody through the roof. And the second is when they're willing to come in here and work for lower wages, that suppresses the wages of the American people. Whammo, you have an affordability crisis that nobody is willing to deal with until now. And the only people who've done anything to try to solve this problem are the Trump administration. And yet, for some reason, everybody else is trying to stop them. Judges, attorneys, NGOs, politicians, the media, influencers are all trying to stop the Trump administration from doing the one thing that will solve the affordability crisis, removing as many of these illegal immigrants as possible. And I think this is why. Scott Besson just released some brand new data that shows wage growth by percentile of income earners. And what we are seeing is that the Trump administration's efforts to remove as many illegal immigrants as possible, despite the efforts of everybody else to stop them, is having a disproportionately beneficial impact on the lowest wage income earners in the country. That's right. People who are being screwed by immigration policy, American citizens, are the ones who are benefiting the most. And these folks who are trying to stop the Trump team from doing this know damn well if the 25th percentile, who are seeing their income grow at a rate nearly 3 times that of those in the 75th percentile, wake up to the reality that they have been crushed by illegal immigration policy, and they realize that the Trump team are the ones who are fixing it, they'll never vote for those people again, and they know it.
Yep. Yeah. It's a whole lot there. Yeah. And then there's this here.
Hey, Brandy, this is Robert Franklin from Make Promises Happen Can. Listen, I wanted to touch base with you. There are some scratches right behind Owen's ears, and I'm the bad guy that put those on there. He was really having a rough day yesterday, and I was the one who, when I got a moment with him and was working with him really hard, I got right in his face, got a hold of his ears, and my nails got him on the back of the ears. So that is my fault, and I'm completely sorry. And that is absolutely not what was intended. So if you will, forgive me, give me a call if you will. We can talk more if you need to. But again, I'm the bad guy. So you're just know that his counselors did a great job with him.
This guy's in charge of education. All right. This is Oklahoma State Superintendent candidate Robert Franklin admitting to hurting a nonverbal special needs child. How can a guy like this be in charge of education? Yeah. Just saying. So a couple of little funny things happened. There was this.
We're gifted the very generous contribution, the $1,000, and able to start the same for my son. And he did want to say a little something to you, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for my trip. Thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing, Mr. President. Thank you. It's truly an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Be careful.
Thank you.
Bye, honey. Take care of mom. Take care of mom, okay? Thank you very much. You're so nice.
We're gifted the very.
So that little kid said, "Thank you for my Trump account." Yeah. And then, but this was before that, and it was not something that people caught on to.
It's truly an honor. It's truly an honor to stand here before you and speak. Sorry, it's too I have a little mom brain going on right now. I'm so sorry. No, he's going to take off. Thank you. Thank you. Truly, thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here. It's truly an honor. It's truly an honor.
So that little one was getting ready to take off, and Trump jumped in front of him. You know, it's, hey, you know, what can you do? What can you do? You know, Republicans are doing with Mitch McConnell what the Democrats did with Joe Biden. Carl Higby sounds off on the lack of updates about Senator Mitch McConnell's health on Wednesday's American agenda, but obviously there's been an update. So we'll see what happens.
We're going after them right now. We are giving them an opportunity to either leave on their own and we'll help you, or we'll arrest you and send you back. Either way, you don't have status inside this country anymore. That has been litigated. The courts spoke very clearly. We knew that we were going to win this because in its name itself, it says temporary protective status. The president has the right to start it. He also has a right to end it. The president ended it, which was the right call. So these individuals can either self-deport or we will arrest you and send you back. It's that simple. We're going after them right now. We are giving them an opportunity to either leave on their own.
Yeah. So, yep, that's from Mark Mullins. And then what a crock of shit.
Act. Will that get a vote on the floor of the U.S. Senate?
We're hoping to achieve that, Bill. We've had 5 votes on it already. We will, if we can, we'll figure out a way to get yet another vote on the Save America Act. But I don't expect the Democrats to change their view. The issue here is all 47 Democrats, all 5 times we're voting on the Save America Act on the floor of the United States Senate have voted no. This is an issue about going after Democrats, making this an issue in the fall campaigns and holding them accountable for being on the wrong side of an 80-20 issue with the American people. But we will try and set up a way to get more votes on that, to put them on the record again. But the fact of the matter is you have block opposition from Democrats in the United States Senate when it comes to this issue. And that's why it's so important that we elect more Republicans to the Senate in November.
All right, that wasn't a yes, so I'll take it for what it is for now. Last
we're
question.
working it.
Yeah.
We're working.
Todd Black Act.
Yeah,
Will
wasn't
that
a
get a
yes is exactly right. But then this.
2 weeks, over 60 people were arrested in connection to Operation Muddy Waters, and officials say this operation isn't over yet.
We have a problem, and it's child exploitation. Mississippi is not a place where predators will be safe.
The accused were arrested for multiple crimes against children, including child exploitation, solicitation, the possession and distribution of child sexual abuse material, and violations, including previous sex offenders. Among those arrested include individuals in positions of public trust, like teachers and firefighters.
Those who think they can hide behind a computer screen and exploit children are wrong. HSI and our partners will find you, investigate you, and hold you accountable.
With the help of over a dozen search warrants, undercover online investigations, and the arrest of previous offenders, law enforcement officials say 0 children were exploited by those arrested during this operation.
Today is about celebrating the children who will never know they were protected. It's about the families who get another day together because dedicated men and women chose to work long hours, share information, and pursue those who seek to exploit the most vulnerable among us.
Yep. So that's going on in northern Mississippi right now. And then we got this. And you're going to have to do some reading because they had to translate it. But more Becerra child trafficking victims speak out. 15-year-old boy was forced into debt bondage after Becerra released him to child traffickers. He tells Becerra, how could you do this? No wonder Becerra is dodging questions from the press and a debate with me. Shameful.
Mi hermana y yo fuimos víctimas de tráfico de niños. Javier Becerra no le importó la seguridad de nosotros. Lo que le importó más es sacarnos lo antes posible en el albergue para mandarnos con los traficantes.
Un hombre borracho entró en la casa y se quedó a dormir conmigo y me quería violar.
Es el momento más terrible de mi vida. En un momento pensé que no podía sobrevivir.
Siempre trabajaba como 20 horas ella no me daba nada de comer, me daba miedo de agarrar agua.
Javier Becerra, ¿cómo pudiste hacer esto? Mi nombre es Antonio David Pérez Santay.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole thing because it's like 6-7 minutes long. But I, it's these are all things that are going to be coming out, and it's this is part of finding either what has happened to or where these children are, and I think that's an important step forward. Stephen Miller was on Fox News, and this is what he had to say.
Well, I think they're going to be severely challenged come November as they've continued to nominate these true communist candidates. Look at Michigan, right? El Sayed. They're nominating communist candidates for office. The center of this country, the middle of this country, the mainstream of this country is going to thunderously reject the Democrats' embrace of communism. And the Sayed, you also have somebody, as you've talked about this evening, Sean, who campaigned, who embraced, who courted the endorsement of this execrable, heinous, deplorable, monstrous Hassan Piker, somebody who has celebrated assassination culture, and somebody who has said that America deserved 9/11. Sean, you're from New York. How much time have you spent, Sean, with the victims and the families, the police officers, the firefighters after 9/11?
A lot.
To have someone running for Senate who's going to associate with that kind of evil? And where is Schumer? Where is Jeffries? Where are any of the leaders of the Democratic Party? They're supporting it. They are embracing it. They are allowing it. Sean, we spent decades fighting a Cold War with the Soviet Union. Now, I choose my words carefully, but I'm going to say this tonight. Sean, that Cold War has come home. It's here in America. This is the biggest, greatest, most existential struggle this country will ever face, Sean. Because if communists get control of House seats, then Senate seats, and governor's mansions, the American dream that for 250 years our heroes bled and died for is gone. And it won't come back because they will never let you get it back. President Trump is the only thing right now standing between the American people and that abyss.
That's simple. That's simple. So, and we got Katie Hopkins.
Thought it was about time we had a week of well dones. So this well done is to young people. Are you 17 or 18 maybe? This is a well done from your naughty Auntie Katie. Well done you if you've managed to pass your driving test. If you're 17, 18 young people and you've managed to go through what they put you through these days to try and pass your driving test. You have to do a stupid bloody theory test, which no one really has any possibility of bloody passing first time, because to do the hazard awareness thing, it's just like a randomizer for a drunk person. You have to pay 3,000 quid to get some shitty car installed, and then probably have a black box to pissing spy on you in case you try and do 23 miles an hour in a 20 zone. Then you have to try and do a driving test, which you have to queue up to get because there's not enough tests anymore to put people off. And then you've got this range of shitty cars. Most of them don't have a gear stick to push you to do automatic. So if by some small minor miracle you've managed to get a part-time job, save up enough money to get lessons, which are about £150,000 for a bloody hour, and then go through getting a theory test and getting a test and passing, just bloody well done. It was so much harder for you than it was for us. Back in my day, didn't have a theory test, not at all. Didn't even have seatbelts, didn't bother. If we were going to die, we were going to fly to our deaths through the front windscreen, free until we hit the tarmac. And to ensure my mum's shitty car was about £3.50 for about 8 bloody years. And finally, when I went to do my test, I didn't have to drive the car. I just did some favours for the driving dude and I passed. So I just want to say today's well done goes to 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds who pass their driving test, particularly if you're 17-year-old lads, all arms and legs and elbows and knees, and you drive with the windows down and your music on, and you pick up your mates and you're cooler than cool, because yes, you are. Well done from your naughty Auntie Katie. Thank you.
She's lost her fucking mind. She has, yeah. A woman who entered the United States lawfully in October of 2021 on a 6-month visitor visa has been arrested and detained by ICE. Get this. The woman was given a work permit, a California real ID, and free health insurance. Now, her daughter and lawyer are speaking to the media saying she should not have been attested and should be released. The fact that she was given a California real ID means she can easily illegally vote in California elections, not that they require voter identification, though, anyway. Yeah.
They did not just put the handcuffs on her, they also put chains on her. And she was telling me that it was hurting really hard, and she was asking them to loose the chains a bit. They didn't do it.
Sunnyvale resident Daria Soboleva is talking about her mom. 59-year-old Aliptina Soboleva is now in ICE custody at this facility in southern Louisiana after she was arrested by ICE officers at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport as she and her daughter were wrapping up a trip to Niagara Falls.
She's very, very, very responsible, and I'm responsible. So to me, this is a shock. I don't know what happened because we did everything right.
In October of 2021, Aliptina came from Moscow on a 6-month visa to visit her daughter at her Sunnyvale home. But before the 6 months was out, Moscow invaded Ukraine. Her immigration attorney says she then applied for asylum, having spoken out against the invasion.
People cannot go back to their countries because they are seeking asylum and they are in danger. Aliptina can't go to prison if she goes to Russia.
But the asylum process can take as long as a decade.
While you're waiting, you have a letter that says your presence in the United States is authorized. But nowadays, the current administration took the position that they can still take people like that into custody because their lawful presence in the United States expired.
I really hope that we can bring her home.
You guys want to see something wild? Just forget about for a second that she was in America illegally for the last few years. Take a look at this. She was given a valid work permit, a California real ID, and medical insurance. Just wrap your head around that. This woman came in here on a temporary 6-month visa, somehow ends up with a work permit, a California real ID, and free taxpayer-funded health insurance. I mean, what a shocker. But keep in mind, these people are being given IDs, so what can they do? They can walk right in and vote illegally. Not that California requires ID to vote, though, anyway.
Just saying. Yeah. And then Islamification.
Influence extends deeper into the United States than many Americans realize. The Trump administration has labeled many of its branches terrorist organizations, but every Democrat involved is boycotting that hearing, calling it political theater. And that's where we are as we top a new hour. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith. This is America Reports. John, good to be with you.
A lot of the usual suspects in those baseball cards. I'm John Roberts in Washington. Good to be with you, Sandra. The hearing will also examine a recent report that claims the Muslim Brotherhood has a 100-year plan to build influence inside American institutions.
They have created a network that is very effective in pursuing an agenda that is exploiting democracy and basically infiltrating and influencing our society in a nefarious way. They have created a very extensive presence in the education.
Influence extends deeper into the United States than many Americans realize. The Trump administration has...
So, yeah, there's a lot there. And then...
it would face a filibuster and a higher requirement of 60 votes in order to be referred to DOJ. That's going to add a complexity. That's going to add grounds for a challenge from the other side. The law behind this controversy is rather murky. People may be surprised that the cases in this area are relatively sparse. And so what Fauci is saying is that I'm really not protected without the privilege, because there may be questions in ongoing state investigation. It would face a filibuster and a.
So basically what it is, it's official. Senator Rand Paul, well, actually, I'll play it for you. Who's up here? Where are you? Well, maybe I hadn't gotten to it. Maybe I hadn't gotten to it yet. Yeah. So, I don't think I got to it yet. Scandalous. John Thune and Tom Cotton are blocking the Department of Justice from obtaining Brennan transcripts before U.S. Senate committees, impeding investigation into former CIA chief. Yeah, they're impeding it. So, and then here's more on that. Well, actually, no. Let's get to the other one first. I want to get to the vote before I get carried away with everything else. Come on. Come on. Here we go.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst. Aye. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
No.
Senator Blumenthal.
No.
Senator Fetterman. No. Senator Kim. No. Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy, and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original.
So they tried to stop it. They tried to complicate it. And he put a stop to it. Let me get down here. Which one's this? Let's see. There. All right. Barbara Boyd.
Last Sunday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. destroyed CNN's Dana Bash on live TV. Here it is.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it is
like a parrot. You're repeating
So are
it
you.
like a parrot.
So
I've
you.
actually read the science.
You
You
don't
and I
want to.
come
You don't
back
want to.
here and debate the
So
science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you are.
No,
You
because
just-
I'm not
all
debating.
you know how to
also-
do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything.
But it's a much bigger issue than the COVID lies. The entire chattering class, including your social media doom scrollers, are lying about everything the president is doing. For starters, rebuilding the U.S. economy required both the war in the Middle East and Scott Bessem's current intervention for Japan over the weekend. The media is just too stupid to tell you why. I'm Barbara Boyd, and I've studied the modern British financial empire ever since it forced Richard Nixon to destroy the Bretton Woods system in 1971. Today, we're going to cover what the war with Iran is about. Then we'll show how Scott Bessem's weekend Japan intervention is part of the very same project. Finally, we'll talk about why they're both necessary for the new Trump economy. which is not socialist or communist, but it's also not the kind of capitalism we've all experienced in our lifetimes. Now, the current Middle East war isn't a war of choice, as Tucker Carlson and the stupid Democrats endlessly proclaim. Trump knew from his first term that America isn't some self-contained island free to make our own isolated choices at this point in time. Critical finance, credit, materials, and productive capacity, our own, sit in foreign hands and foreign lands, particularly the offshore financial network of the City of London. Here's part of the history. In 1973, responding to that year's oil shock, Nelson Rockefeller convened a convention of our elites and experts called the Commission on Critical Choices. He feared, like OPEC, undeveloped nations would cartelize or nationalize the critical minerals and energy resources necessary for our advanced economy. Rockefeller's answer echoed that of Thomas Malthus. Population and economic growth must be strictly controlled, reduced to zero if possible. The main tool chosen for this was mass indoctrination in the new religion of environmentalism. They also built a new financial system at the same time, centered in Wall Street and the City of London, where oil and gas commodity speculation replaced gold and physical production in pricing the dollar. Under Joe Biden, this environmentalist religion was so advanced that we banned oil and gas production. And discussions were underway to hand our economic sovereignty totally to a globalist consortium of central banks, centered in Mark Carney's Bank of England. Under Biden, the climate apocalypse hope was used to justify funneling all the financial credit in the entire world into green energy and nothing else. These myths drove inflation and piled more debt onto the national balance sheet. That's the economy Donald Trump inherited. He promptly began rebuilding an economy centered on physical production, manufacturing, and new industry. But he couldn't finish without regaining sovereignty over credit and finance. That means overthrowing the old system and replacing it. Now, the obvious weak point in the old system is the money flows from Middle East oil production. Just look at how closing the Strait of Hormuz upended entire parts of the world economy. The City of London itself depends on Gulf investment for survival. That's why London, through its colony, Oman, has been pressing a plan for voluntary tolls in the Strait, cutting the issue and prolonging the war. But overall, because of the war's dynamics and the President's Board of Peace for the Middle East, the region's nations are making massive investments now in the United States. They are abandoning the old globalist oil and terror regime sponsored by the City of London. President Trump wants the region to deliberate its own fate through the Abraham Accords, peace through economic development, not permanent religious wars. Iran and its terrorist proxies stand in the way of that. And under Trump's Board of Peace, the region's nations get a vote on any U.S. military action. Otherwise, we create dependencies, mass migration, and we're stuck there. We want a permanent peace so we can leave militarily, but we also aim to become a significant trading and development partner in a new Middle East composed of sovereign nations, not terrorist gangs. That's why the Trump administration is talking about selling nuclear reactors now to the Saudis. None of this is what you'll hear from Dana Bash, Tucker Carlson, Laura Loomer, or the neocons saying, bomb them into oblivion. You can get more of the real story by signing up to our free newsletter at PrometheanAction.com. Now, stabilizing Japan also screws the City of London. Over the weekend, Scott Bessent intervened to buttress Japan's currency, the yen. Our friend Tom Luongo imagined this exchange between Trump and Bessent about the move. Scott, you're the money guy. You got anything on Europe? They've been screwing us for years. Bessent, actually, yes, sir. Japan. They've been Europe's pawn for decades, manipulating the yen to rig dollar rates in their favor, support them out of their debt trap, and we both win. Trump, can you make that happen? Bessent, yes, I'm the guy who helped destroy the UK and gift wrap them for the EU. I'm just running the other trade now for Japan. Trump. That's why I hired that guy. Tom's closing line back to the UK is on purpose. In 1992, Scott Bessent, then working for George Soros, used his knowledge of the speculative post-1971 economy to collapse the British pound and force British entry into the EU. Now he's doing the reverse with the yen. The carry trade is a debt bomb at the center of global finance, a choke point as volatile and dangerous as the IRGC and the Strait of Hormuz. To stabilize it this time, Bessent sold euros, not dollars. That landed a big blow on the currency of America's biggest real enemies, the UK and the EU. The carry trade is a textbook product of the speculative economy that rose after 1971. After Japan's crash in the 1990s, Japan held rates near zero, and global speculators borrowed yen for almost nothing. They used that to invest in U.S. stocks and bonds, which paid something, and they pocketed the spread. But that only works when the yen stays weak. Raise rates, and everyone who borrowed rushes to buy yen back, crashing markets fast. That's exactly what happened in August of 2024, when this same unwind wiped billions off global markets in days. So Japan, a major partner in Trump's new economy, is stuck. Keep rates low and the yen keeps collapsing, hurting ordinary Japanese through inflation. Raise rates and risk a global fire sale that hits us too, since much of that borrowed money sits in U.S. Treasury bonds. Rather than wait for that breakdown, which would come, Bessent got ahead of it, using this intervention alongside squeezing Iran's regime out of the financial system to reset the rules of the monetary system before someone else does it under crisis conditions for the worse. Canadian strategist James Thorne says Scott Bessent is setting up a new Bretton Woods, the kind of stable, long-term, low-interest monetary system real economic development requires. I think he's right. Now, about the economy. President Ronald Reagan's pursuit of a defense against nuclear war using advanced physical principles like lasers collapsed the Soviet economy. Why? Under communism, the backward Soviet labor force was incapable of rapidly producing the technology at scale, even if Soviet science invented it. Their new defense mobilization after Reagan announced the SDI killed their economy. Post-war American capitalism, which outsourced our productive economy and shattered years of technological experience in our labor force, set the United States up for the same type of collapse. That is, before Donald Trump. The rapid absorption and reproduction of new scientific discoveries and frontier technologies is the hallmark of the unique American system of political economy, of Hamilton, Lincoln, and McKinley, and now Trump. Two things are required. One is ready access to long-term, low-interest capital investment. As important, you need scientific revolutionaries and a technologically trained and prosperous labor force. Breaking the hold of globalist finance on our economy and reshoring our industry creates the first condition. The Trump administration is now addressing the second. On July 21st, the Trump administration issued the program, Science, A New Golden Age. In Part 4, the president's science advisor, Michael Kratsios, calls for a crash drive to upskill the labor force for our future. Here's what it says. First, stop separating the classroom from the shop floor. The plan forces colleges to build hands-on training and real work experience directly into STEM degrees. So a welding certification or a lab apprenticeship counts just as much as a lecture course. Second, you don't need a PhD to matter in American science. The policy creates national fellowships that put machinists and technicians shoulder to shoulder with PhD researchers, with credentials that travel with you no matter where you work. Third, apprenticeships get a science and tech upgrade. Old-style apprenticeships expand into cutting-edge fields. Funding follows results instead of just enrollment, and community colleges become the regional engines of technical talent. Fourth, innovation requires neighbors. You don't get technological breakthroughs from research labs and factories sitting hundreds of miles apart. You get them when scientists and builders are working down the street from each other, so the plan pushes for dense, local clusters where both live side by side. Now, Abraham Lincoln's economist, Henry Carey, said that the American system of political economy, which Trump is using, represents a harmony of interest between capital and labor. That's because both capital and labor under that system recognize that the human mind is the source of all economic progress, and there are no limits to the growth it can invent and perfect. Both communism and the type of capitalism we've had since 1971 reject that principle. Under free trade capitalism, the cost of labor is something to be driven down to the lowest cost possible. That's why our production was outsourced. The media and the pundits won't tell you this. They're either ignorant or corrupt and wedded to the old system. At Promethean Action, on the other hand, we recognize what Trump is doing, and we're dedicated to getting out very, very widely by any means possible. That means we need to grow, and we need you to help us to do that. Please contribute as much as you can. This has been your Wednesday update. Thanks very much for listening.
Please take a moment and subscribe to our free newsletter at PrometheanAction.com.
Yeah.
The word again: filth, crime, death, destruction, embarrassment. You lose your home, you lose your apartment, and that's where the communists will take us 100%. When I watch Abdul, he's full of shit. The word again: filth, crime, death.
He said it flat out. He's full of shit. You know. So, and then this one here.
Suicide weekend, I meant to say. All right, so here we go. Starts off Q700, dated February 9th, 2018. Q says, think about it this way. We got next week, and then are we going to have a suicide weekend? All right, so on the next screen, we put together a calendar to kind of map this out. Back in 2018, when Q wrote this post, it was February 9th there in the red box. Then next week is the blue box. Next week is the green box. But what the suicide weekend is, we were focused on, the calendar flips over to March at that point. We're looking at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend in March. So we're just sitting there. Is there going to be some sort of like, you know, a big player that gets suicided? Is it going to be like a scarf event? What's going on? We weren't sure. But man, does this hit. Let's go to the next screen. So a man just happens to go out and shoot himself in front of the White House on March 3rd. I think, Abs, you got the article. You know, I don't even really know if we need to really scroll it besides what's here on the screen. So on the left, we got the CBS News report. Man shot himself in the head outside of the north fence lining at the White House, and he's dead. Blah, blah, blah. U.S. Secret Service confirmed. Then over on the right, we got the actual tweet from the Secret Service. I pulled that down today. I even retweeted it today. Breaking: Secret Service personnel are responding to the reports of a person allegedly suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound along the north fence line at the White House. March 3rd. Are you kidding me? A guy commits suicide in front of the White House on suicide weekend. Exactly what Q said to look for. Let's roll forward. So Q comes back later that day on March 3rd and says, hey, guys, knock, knock, knock. Did you catch it? that demonstration made in front of the White House. And then the calendar rolls over to March 4th. Q is still talking about it. And Q says, do you believe in coincidences? We had that White House suicide right there. And there were also at the time, earlier in February, there was an intruder into Sean Hannity's place. And Q is just saying, these events, I'm giving you the advance notice and they're happening. You just got to know how to connect the dots. So on the next screen, I just put together, I believe, the timeline of events. So Q700, February 9th. Q says, pull out a calendar. Think about basically 3 weeks from today, that weekend, we're going to have a suicide. And what happens? Exactly 3 weeks that weekend on March 3rd. That's a Saturday, March 3rd, I believe. Yeah, I remember the calendar now. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's Saturday. Man dead from shooting himself right in front of the White House lawn there. All right. And then Q comes back later on the 3rd, 8:32. That demonstration today out in front of the White House. We told you to look for it. And over on the right, Q840 on March 4th. Do you believe in coincidences? White House suicide. Q proof. Boom.
This kid does some pretty good stuff. Paul Fleuret. Yeah. Does some pretty good stuff, yeah. And then let's see. And then this is going on in Florida.
Mr. Attorney General, you got the floor. What are you doing?
That's great to be here. Well, just about an hour or two ago, we issued a formal subpoena to Dr. Fauci under Florida state law, seeking a breadth of documents ranging to what he knew, when he knew it, his doubts about the safety and efficacy of vaccines that he's out there promoting. And we're really focused in on his self-dealing. Evidence has come to light that he was trying to personally profit off of this. This is outside of his government duties, his official role. He's trying to pursue book deals, awards, get connected with high rollers that, might help him come into millions and millions of dollars. This is wrong, and it could go towards a deceptive trade practice, fraud, public nuisance, you name it. I think there's many aspects of Florida law that now are implicated.
So what's the evidence that you're pointing at here?
Well, a lot of it, he revealed himself in this diary. We've got communications, emails with subordinates where he's asking them to help work on applications for these awards. We know one award in particular, he made $900,000 on that. Again, this is separate and independent from his government salary. Right. So here, government officials, they have a lot of immunities. They have protections when they're doing their job. But when somebody like Dr. Fauci is lying and deceiving the American people, pushing out directives and mandates that he privately questions as unsafe, and he's deriving a profit from it, that raises larger legal questions.
So let me drill down on this $900,000 award, because that's a big chunk of change. I assume that money would have gone back into government research. Am I right? Or
not necessarily, and that's part of why we issue subpoenas. We need to gather discovery and evidence in Florida. We want to seek accountability. A lot of people were hurt and suffered, but we respect procedure, rule of law. We will get to the bottom of it. We will leave no stone unturned, and we want to find out at the end of the day, was he pursuing profit? Or was he trying to protect the people of Florida? And his diary, it screams of fame and fortune. He's doubting the risks of myocarditis. He's frustrated that Florida is not following his directives, so much so that he traveled down, he did news hits, radio hits, he went down with Jill Biden. All the while, we now know privately, he has a lot of doubts about safety.
Well,
Ouchie. Yep. The ouchie. Well, that was just really weird. That my internet got taken out. Got completely taken out. I had to do a hard reset on it. I don't know what happened there. But one of my things is telling me that okay. So are you telling me that something over there is happening? All right. We should be working. Am I working? Am I here? Somebody don't like me subject today? Probably. You know, that happens. That happens. But, well, I guess I'm back in time to say goodbye because I've got to go. I got to get the dogs down to the creek before it gets too hot. Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple of songs and then I'm out of here. Remember, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and I love you. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
What's right now? What's right now? You walk in the room with a smile on your face, but your mind's racing all over the place. Got 1,000 things running through your head, and you know you ought to slow it down instead. Well, don't just grab the first jar you see. There's a little bit of science to the THC. Take a minute, breathe, don't rush somehow. Ask yourself what's right now. Do you need to chill? Do you need some sleep? Do you need a relief that's nice and deep? Do you need a snack? Do you need a grin? Let's figure out where to begin. What's right now? What's your body say? Hey. Are you winding down at the end of the day? Hey. Northern Lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey. Everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Northern Light says turn down the speed. Let your busy little brain be free. Tie an Afghani on a sleepy ride, like a warm blanket by your side. Then Bubba Kush walks through the door, says, buddy, you ain't working anymore. It's the melt into the couch parade. Cancel your chores that you already made. Need some comfort, need some peace. Need those busy thoughts to cease. Don't overthink, don't wear a frown. Listen when your body's talking now. What's right now? What's your body say? Hey. Are you winding down at the end of the day? Northern Lights if you're ready for bed. Bubba Kush if your battery's dead. Dos when the aches hang around. Blue cheese if you're still moving around. Hey. Everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Dos says I got your back when your muscles start to crack. Blue cheese says grab a little bite, but still keep dancing through the night. Slow reaction, dry mouth too. Keep some water close to you if your heart starts racing fast. Take it easy, let it pass. Everybody's chemistry works a little differently. What's right now? Listen to yourself. Not every jar belongs on everybody's shelf. Some are sleepy, some are light, some are daytime, some are night. Hey. Take it slow and you'll find out how to choose what's right now. What's right now? Oh, what's right now? What's right now? Hey, everybody's different somehow. So what's right now? Hey, hey, ask your body what's right up this morning to a world on fire. Everybody shouting, climbing walls of wire. Fear on the TV, lies across the screen. Hard to know these days what anything means. But I hear my Father's voice down in my soul. Stand up straight, don't let the darkness take control. Love your neighbor, hold the line, stay alive. Open up your eyes and let your spirit drive. Don't let the noise pull you under. Don't lose your heart in the thunder. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Little old lady waving from a porch swing. Kids on the sidewalk still learning to dream. Somebody praying in the middle of pain. Somebody dancing in the pouring rain. There's still good people helping strangers stand. Still working hard with calloused hands. Still holding family, still holding faith. Still finding hope when it all feels late. Don't let the fear define you. There's still a fire inside you. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Oh, don't forget who you are. You were made from the dust and the stars. Oh, even when shadows fall, love is still the strongest thing of all. Keep your head on a swivel, don't lose your grace. Every scar tells a story, every soul has a place. And if somebody stumbles, you help them stand tall. That's the kind of strength that can heal us all. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith alive. There's still hope for tomorrow as long as we try. Yeah, the world may change, but love remains, and that's how we survive.